This is an internship orientation for all of the ag, horticulture, ag business, and ag technology management folks. Is anyone in here an ag comm major? Is anyone in here an ag ed major? Forestry, wildlife, or conservation law enforcement? Okay. Then this will all apply to everybody in here. Y'all pay attention, we're going to have a quiz afterwards. All right, my name is Corey Lovell. I am the Academic and Career Coordinator for the School of Agriculture and Natural Resources here at ABAC. I'm an ABAC graduate myself. I went through the forestry program and graduated about 4 years ago now. Up here is my contact information. Write it down, take a picture of it. This is your sole way of getting in contact with us this summer. Any questions, any issues, any needs that you have throughout the summer, you need to email me at agintern@abac.edu. If you are injured on the job, it doesn't happen often. I think we've had about 2 since I've been in this position. We need to know about it immediately. I respond to emails Monday through Thursday, 8 to 5 o'clock through the summertime. We're closed on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. If you are injured, email me anyway. They come to my cell phone. I read them all as I get them. I just don't respond unless it's an emergency. When you email us, be sure to list what course you are in. We've got 6 different internship courses just in this room. We've got 3 over in Ag Comm and 1 over in Forestry that I'm technically over as well. So if you just tell me you're having an issue in Georgia View, well, there's 8 different Georgia Views. I need to know which one you're having an issue with. So be sure to include the course name and number whenever you email us. Something else that I've had to put on here that's different from last year. Does anybody see a phone number listed up here? No. I have an office phone. If you're wanting to get in touch with me in 3 to 5 days, office phone's the way to go. I'm not always in my office. Email is the only way I will respond to you. So be sure to send me an email at AgIntern. I do have an ABAC email. I will not respond to emails that go to my personal email. Last year we had 201 interns just in ag and HORT. I cannot have internships bleeding over into my professional email. We have to email for correspondence, we have to email for paper trail, but I have to have that all in one place. So I will not respond to any emails unless it is at agintern@abac.edu. Any questions on how to get in contact with me? Perfect. Graders. So all of our graders are in the back. I think they all made it tonight. Yes. Graders, you can wave if you would like. They're just as enthusiastic about being here as the rest of us. Dr. Audrey Luke Morgan, Dr. McLemore, Dr. Nakakito, Dr. Porter, Dr. McCrimmon, and Dr. Cherney are the ones that grade. Do we see any contact information for them up here? No. Should you ever be contacting them about your internship needs? No. Our graders rotate on a 2-week cycle. Dr. Porter may grade you week 1 and 2. She may have a different groups weeks 3 and 4. So if you email her, she ain't gonna know whether you're in her group or not. She's got 40 topic reports and 60 activity logs to be grading that week. She ain't gonna know. I'm the one that keeps the master sheet on who has what and where you are. So you'll need to email me if you have any grade issues, if something's not being graded. And I don't mean like you turned it in last night and it wasn't graded by 8 o'clock the next morning. If you've turned something in and it's a week, shoot me an email. We'll figure out what's going on. Sometimes we grade stuff and we don't hit the word publish. So technically it's graded, but you can't see it. Mistakes happen. Let me know so we can get those type of things fixed. You will find out as you move through. There are some graders listed up here that are harder than others. Yes, it happens. You know, Dr. McCrimmon may rip you about grammar, and ALM may rip you about page length. You're going to get different responses all semester long. Try to adapt, take those, into consideration. You may have turned in your first 4 reports and made 90s on them. Your 5th report, you've not changed a thing. Well, now you've got an 85. What happened there? Each grader will leave you comments. Everyone grades on a different style, different hardness level. It happens. That's why we rotate graders. We know there's an inherent bias, so we will rotate them. Everyone will be graded by every grader at some point or another for 2 weeks. Any questions about graders? All right, this was up here whenever y'all were signing in. I've tried to make it as self-explanatory as I can. We've got the 3 different internships. We've got AECO, which is our agribusiness internships, AGRI, which is our agriculture and ag tech internship, and then HORT, which is our horticulture. Each one of those has both a 6 and a 3 credit hour option. We will dive deeper into the differences in just a little bit. If you have not registered for your internship, you are not too late. You still can register. I would recommend you take a picture of this because it's got the CRN number in it. That way, whenever you go into Banner, all you have to do is type in that 5-digit CRN and hit submit. I'm going to leave this up for a couple more seconds. See, some folks are still taking pictures. All right, we're moving on. All right, course prerequisites. These are hard course prerequisites. We do not make exceptions. You must have a minimum of a 2.0 GPA in order to take an internship. We don't just pull that number out of the air. You actually have to have a minimum 2.0 to graduate with your bachelor's degree. You must have a specific amount of earned credit hours towards your declared degree. So if you're wanting to take the 6-hour agriculture or agribusiness internship, you must have earned 80 credit hours by the time your internship starts. So that doesn't mean you have to be sitting at 80 today. What you are currently taking gets put into that number so long as you pass it. But at the end of this semester, you must have 80 earned hours in order to take the agribusiness and the agriculture 6-hour internship. Our horticulture and all of the 3-hour internships have different requirements. You only need 60 earned credit hours in order to take either horticulture or the agribusiness 3-hour or the agriculture 3-hour. Does anyone have any questions on this? Okie dokie. Some course requirements. Your internship must be a minimum of 40 hours a week for a minimum of 10 consecutive weeks. You can do more than that. Most of you will work more than 40 hours a week. This is agriculture. That's just how it is. We are starting the semester late in the fall. There is an extra summer week, if you want to call it that we have. If you want to work your internship a little bit longer, you can work more than the 10 weeks. All we require is 10 weeks, 40 hours a week. Next, all coursework is due in Georgia View by Monday night at 11:59 Eastern Time. If you are in a golf course at Yellowstone, your reports are due 11:59 ABAC time, Georgia time, whatever you want to call it. When it's 11:59 here, that's when it's due. So if you're in a different time zone, be sure to keep up. Your reports may be 10:59, 9:59, depending on where you're at. That's your responsibility to be sure to keep up with that. You will work one full week. So let's say I start my internship on May 12th. You will work one full week, and that following Monday is when your week one's report will be due. Does anyone have any questions on that? Okay. This is extremely important. You must submit your report in the correct folder. We have it every year. Every year I get emails, and every year I say the same exact thing. If you submit your topic report in your activity log folder, we cannot grade it because the rubrics do not pull up because you used the wrong folder. You must submit your topic report in your topic report folder, your activity log in your activity log folder. This sounds like common sense. It's very easy to get them swapped. So be sure before you submit them, you look. If it is before 11:59, you can resubmit, and it will save your last submission. But after 11:59, those folders are locked. I cannot open them back. If you submit them in the wrong folder, it's an automatic 0. Just because we have no way to grade, there's roughly 200 of you. We can't start pulling reports, printing them out, printing out the rubric, and trying to grade by hand. We just can't do it. There's not enough of us. It's not a, oh, Corey, he's an asshole move. It's just we simply do not have the resources to do this. Late work's the same way. We don't have time to be reopening submission folders. We can't accept it. If you have something that just, I don't know, family emergency happened midweek, you're not going to get that report in time, email me before the due date. If it's a Wednesday and you know that you're taking off because something at home needs your attention, email me Wednesday or Thursday. It doesn't, get home, but let me know so I can try to do some maneuvering, because once that Georgia View box closes, it's closed. We can't take work through email, same reason. We don't have the rubric that populates like it does in Georgia View. We can't grade it. No other forms of submission. It has to be in the correct Georgia View folder. Next, we do not allow time off during your internship. In the first 10 weeks of any real job, you will not have any accrued time to take off. It's a 10-week internship. You're expected to be there for a minimum of 10 consecutive weeks. Now, if you have something once in a lifetime, let's say, you're getting married on a Wednesday because it was cheaper than the Saturday. And you obviously can't miss that. So what are you going to do? Shoot me an email. We will try to figure something out. I'm not completely heartless. I will try to work with you so long as you work with me. Things that will not be approved in terms of time off. Well, we go to Panama City every year for a week, for 3 weeks, and no, sorry. You can go next year, hope you enjoyed it last year. I can't help you on that. You cannot work at a site that is owned by your family. I know some of y'all's family, if it was my daddy would have worked me harder than he would have anybody else. I get that. But to keep it fair, because I know not everybody's parents are that way, we don't want you sitting inside playing Xbox or PlayStation or whatever the newest console is now. What is it? Still the Switch? PlayStation? We don't want you sitting inside doing that all summer. So you cannot work for family, and you cannot work at a site that you've previously worked at. This is to make sure that you get a wide variety of working experience while you're in college. We don't want you to, I've worked at Ray's Feed and Seed for the last 4 years every summer. I'll just hit my boss up and, I'll stock chicken feed three days a week. No, that won't get approved. I won't approve it. It has to be somewhere new, somewhere where you can learn something. That's the whole point of the internship. We want this to, 1, let you learn something, 2, hopefully get your foot in the door to some corporation or entity that will hopefully hire you on. That's the goal. If you have tech issues, I would recommend that you don't wait till 11 o'clock to start your reports. I can't help you if Microsoft Word's not working. Tech support's not going to be able to answer your question if your Microsoft Word is not working. Sorry, hate it for you. Should have started a little earlier. Every year I get at least one intern. Well, my internship site does not have internet. Okay? You've got 2 options. You can either find some or find a different internship. I've had interns drive 2 hours to town, sat in their car at the public library, wrote their reports on the weekend, and then drove back to the farm in the middle of, wherever, Montana. I get that. Not every place is going to have internet, but you'll be able to find somewhere. McDonald's, Walmart, something. Lastly, in terms of course requirements, you are allowed to take up to 1 3-credit hour course with your internship. It is highly advised that you do not, because you are working a full-time job. But if you're in a crunch to graduate and you just really need to take an online course, whenever you come to me for approval for your internship, we will look at your GPA and I'll approve or deny a 3-credit hour course. If you're coming to me with a 2.1, chances are you don't really need to be taking another online course. But if you're, 3.2, 4.0, I ain't got any problem with you taking another course. You've shown that you can juggle that load. Any questions on the course requirements? Plagiarism and AI policy. This has been tweaked slightly from last year, so if you're, taking a second internship, be sure to pay attention to this. Your first offense for plagiarism is an automatic 40-point deduction right off the top. So the highest you can make is a 60, and that's before your report's even graded. Don't plagiarize. The worst report for plagiarism is the one that asks you for your company overview, because it's very tempting. I'm working at Nutrien. All right, what's Nutrien say on their website? Done? No, don't do it. Nutrien's website's on the internet. Turnitin is also on the internet. Turnitin will find it, and you'll get marked off 40 points. After your first offense for plagiarism, you will receive a 0 from time number 2 forward. completely copied papers, and I get one every year. If you copy someone's report that worked at the same company you working at, that worked there last year, and you're like, I don't have time to write week 7, I'm just going to take Sally's report, turn it in, keeps that on file, and it will show us the similarities. And all you did was change the year in your name. It's an automatic 0, and we will refer you to the Dean of Students for disciplinary action, which usually involves failing the course. Don't turn in someone else's work. With that being said, and I didn't put it on here, but the AI policy is the same way as the completely copied paper. It's an automatic 0 turned into the Dean of Students. Any questions on plagiarism, AI, anything like that? Okay. Point deductions. This is our standard point deductions. Every semester I get someone asking, well, how was my grade calculated? Well, I decided to show you this year. Point deductions vary depending on the class and the report. So we've already covered this. If you submit your report in the wrong folder, it's an automatic 0. If your report is more than 1 page short, it's an automatic 50 points off. You only turned in half the report, so it's only fair that you can make up to half credit. Same way, if it's half a page to 1 page, well, half to 1 page short, automatic 25 points off. Oh, here's my AI thing. 100-point deduction for turning in AI or someone else's report. Questions on point deductions? Topic report templates. So when it's time for you to write your reports, it can't get any easier. I have made a template. We have remade the template so it actually works a little better. And this is exactly what it looks like for all classes, except at the top, instead of AECO, it may have HORT or AGRI, whatever. So you will click up there where it says student name. It's a box. You click it. You put your name. There's a box that says company. Y'all see where I'm going with this. You click it, put the company. Select a week and title from the drop down. We actually give you the title of the report so you can't accidentally write the wrong report. It's pretty nifty. You'll select it from the drop down, and then there's a box under it that literally, I don't know if y'all can read that, but it says, click or tap here to begin your topic report. The text box has already been correctly formatted for you to begin. Calibri, 12-point font, and double-spaced. Minimum of 2 pages and a maximum of 3 pages in length are required. Changing formats will result in point penalties. If you are able to change this locked document, I will be very impressed. But don't take it as a challenge because you'll just get a 0 for it. So in terms of the templates, 6 credit hour students. Raise your hand if you're a 6 hour. Oh, most of y'all. All right. There's going to be a lot of long reports for y'all to grade this year. 6 credit hour students, 2 to 3 full pages. Don't write 1 3/4, you're going to get 25 points knocked off. 2 to 3 full pages. And if you look, we already did you a pretty big favor because that heading and all that's huge, so that takes out about 1/4 of a page. You're welcome. I'm looking out for y'all. 3 hour students, 1 to 2 full pages. It is less credit hours. It's going to be less page length. Some things in regards to the templates. Do not try to recreate the template. Do not copy and paste the template into a Microsoft Word document. Don't try to make your own, and don't alter, change, or manipulate. What you will need to do is in Georgia View, under the Contents tab, there is a tab that says Templates. You'll click on that. Then there will be two drop-down tabs inside that say Topic Report and Activity Log. You'll click on those. You will download that onto your computer, and then you will use the desktop version of Microsoft Word. If you don't have it, download it. You can get it for free with your MyABAC. If you use the online version, you're going to be very upset when you get points counted off because the template did not format correctly. And sometimes it doesn't even save the work. It just depends on your computer. With that being said, it is extremely, highly, super duper recommended that you work off of a Windows operating system. Mac users, I'm sorry, but it does not like our templates. I've seen some students, they don't have a problem with it. Others, it jacks it up in some funny ways. It just depends on, I really can't answer why, but it just doesn't work for some. Same with Chromebooks. It does not like Chromebooks. Windows operating PCs. So you'll download the file, use the desktop version of Microsoft Word. It'll open right up. If you do not use the template, it's an automatic 30-point deduction. So if you just open Microsoft Word and just start typing, 30 points off. All of your work must be saved as a PDF. That locks the formatting down, where once you hit submit, whatever you had on your computer, it saves, where if I've got one of those widescreen computers, it won't jumble it up and move things around. PDFs are a surefire way that whatever it looks like on your end, that's how we will receive it. Georgia View actually will not let you submit anything that is not a PDF. In order to save as a PDF, you will click File, Save As, then at the bottom where it says File Type, you will change it to PDF. Save it, and it'll usually pull up a copy of the PDF. That's the file that you'll submit into Georgia View, PDF. Any questions on PDFs, topic report templates? Okay, activity log templates look pretty similar. That's kind of small, but basically what we've got is the same type of heading at the top. Activity logs for, who's in the 3-hour internship? Okay. 6-hour and 3-hour. For the first 5 weeks of your internship, your activity logs will look exactly like the one on the left. Yeah, y'all's left, my right. It will be broke down in each day. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. All 7 of them are up there. If you do not work on a day, type, I did not work today. 0 hours. Activity logs do not have a page count. There's not a page count on them. However, if you put 1 sentence down for each of those, you'll get flagged for plagiarism because you basically turned in a copy of my template. That's what you did. You must put enough details in to receive full points and not get counted as, a plagiarized document, because it reads the headings, it reads my additional instructions over there, it reads the entire thing, and it will mark it as plagiarism. So be sure to put enough details. I had a student argue with me last year about that. I received a 0 for this. Why? Well, it's showing you had plagiarized. Well, I didn't do that, so I had to pull it up and show them you didn't put anything there. So all it did was scan the template. Plagiarized. 3 credit hour folks, plug years, don't listen to the following, whatever you want to do. All my 6 hour folks, after week 5, so week 6 through 10, we will change from a daily weekly log to a weekly log. That's the one on the right. So instead of it being broke down Monday through Saturday, or Monday through Sunday, instead it'll be a summary. Tell us what you did this week and tie it back to your learning goals, which we'll talk about here shortly. All right, 3 hour folks, you can pay attention now. Any questions on activity logs? All right. All right, 6 hour students. I lied to y'all 3 hour folks. You can still keep not paying attention. 6 hour students. This is a breakdown of how your grading scale will be. So we've got the initial paperwork process. So that is getting your paperwork filled out, which we'll cover here in a second, getting it approved by me, your orientation quiz, site directions, and professional picture, 5% of your grade. Your weekly activity logs, 20% of your overall grade. Topic reports are weekly, 40% of your overall grade. There is an extra topic report on week 5 where you tie things back to your learning goals set in week 2. It's worth 5% of your overall grade, just that one report. It's a very special report. Be sure to do it. Your final presentation, which we'll talk about here in a second, is worth 15%. Your employer gets a say in your final grade. It's worth 10% of your final grade. Your employer gets to grade you. We'll talk about that in just a second. And then we'll have an exit evaluation worth 5%. Three-hour students. Breakdown's a little different. Initial paperwork's all the same, it's still 5%. Your weekly activity logs, 40%. That changed from our 6 hours. Your topic reports are bi-weekly for the 3-hour folks instead of weekly for the 6. Those are worth 25%. Final presentation, employer evaluation, and faculty, well, that still says faculty. That's supposed to say exit evaluation, is all worth the same. Questions on the course syllabus. I'm not telling y'all what to do, but if you only have time to write one report, let's say, I don't know, you overslept or something, I don't know, and you only have time to write one report, as a recent graduate, I would recommend you write the one that's worth the most points towards your final grade. So you can do with that information as you will. Site directions and headshots. So your site directions, you must follow the steps in Georgia View in the Contents tab. I can't believe I have to tell y'all you have to follow the instructions, But I had a student try to fight with me on that last year. You mean I literally have to follow each step of the directions? Yes, that's what directions mean. Be sure to follow every step. Site directions is a pass-fail. If you don't follow the last step, step 5 is the one everyone misses. Step 5, click on the most appropriate route. They think, oh, right here, I'm done. You missed the last step, you will fail. I don't want to see just a map. I need the directions with it. Does everybody understand? All right. Headshot's pretty simple. Just upload a semi-professional picture to your Georgia View account. There are some instructions on there if you want to read them. Basically, no hats, no pets, and be in a professional setting. It doesn't have to be suit, tie, black background type thing. Just a semi-professional picture. Employer evaluations. Whenever you fill out your paperwork, your employer will write their email down. It is critical that you get the correct email address, because if you don't, they're not going to get your employer evaluation in week 8. And you will fail the course because you did not have an employer evaluation. So be sure when they're filling out their information, and y'all are going to be the ones that put that in a spreadsheet for me. So if you can't read it, be sure to get them to clarify. Employer evaluation grades are a little different. No one can make a 100 on their employer evaluation. We're already giving you 10% of your grade for the paperwork and the exit evaluation. Those are an easy 10%. So what we've done with the employer evaluations is we ask them to give you a scale of A, B, C, D, or F. You see the corresponding grade that you will get based on what they say. So if your employer gives you an A on your employer evaluation, you get a 95. If they give you a B, you get an 85, so on and so forth. Don't think that because you've made an A on your employer evaluation that you are in the clear. 2 years ago, I had an employer call me and say, hey, my intern has really slacked off ever since I did my employer evaluation. Can I update it? And I said, absolutely. They're still working for you. So they went from a A to a C because they thought they were, oh, I done got the grade. I ain't got anything else to do here. So even after that grade's posted, be sure to stay vigilant, because I have had them call and decide to change their mind. If you want to see what your employer says about you, you absolutely can. In August, when you come back, email me, set up an appointment, and we can go over it, if the employer agrees to share what they have written. That's the last question on their evaluation is, do you give us permission to share your comments? I'm going to be honest with you. If you got an A, there's usually not anything constructive on them. But you're still more than welcome to come and see them. We also do site visits. That's something that I've heard from above me that they are kind of expecting us to do this year, because we've not done them the last couple of years. So it is now expected that I visit sites. With that being said, don't think just because you're in Wyoming that you're safe. Dr. Hicks likes to take a trip to Wyoming every year and has stopped and seen interns. You're never safe. We'll find you. So just keep that in mind. We don't just show up unannounced to your employer. We will let your employer know that you're coming, We won't let you know. Any questions about the employer evaluations? You got a question? Because that, and not everybody, nobody can do everything perfect. When I was in high school, I had a class, I was in band. You don't play every note correctly, well, you'll still get that A, but it's not going to be a 100. So that's kind of the reasoning. That, and we already give you 10% of your grade, so we got to stick it to you somewhere. All right, final presentations. The dates have been set. These are set in stone. Final presentation dates will be in Ag Sciences in person, July 21st and July 22nd. I've got the early bird gets the worm up here. Roughly around week 7 or 8, I send out a Microsoft bookings. You're going to see myself, Ag Intern, and Dr. ALM listed as room hosts. Just because it has ALM's name on it does not mean ALM is grading that one. I've had students think, oh, ALM, she's always been hard to me, so I'm going to pick this one. And then they're upset when they actually pick the room that had ALM in it. Sorry, ALM, that's just how it goes. Those are just place markers. The 6 graders will rotate out. You'll be randomly assigned, and I purposefully pick our graders to partner with somebody that's complimentary. You're not going to get 2 graders that are just out to get you, I promise. Going back to what I was saying about the early bird gets the worm, I got on a tangent there. When I send that out, they are a first come, first serve. You will pick a morning or afternoon for those 2 days, so for one of those 2 days. You're required to be there that whole morning or that whole afternoon. You are to watch your peers present, ask questions, participate, that type of thing. If you can only, present Monday morning, I would recommend you sign up for Monday morning before Monday morning fills up. See, I lost my place. Where was I? Employers, your bosses are invited to attend your presentation. We've had that happen in the past, not too often, but they are more than welcome to come and see you present on their company. If you are in Wyoming and you're not going to be back in time for presentations, we do have the option of an incomplete. This is for students who are not walking this May. If you're walking this May, you cannot receive an incomplete unless you want your diploma in December. An incomplete is a placeholder put on your transcript saying, hey, you didn't fail the course, it's just not completed. And you will have up until about mid-September to finish that course. So final presentations have to be finished by September in order to be able to get a grade. If you do not complete your incomplete in time, it is an F. That's registrar, that's not us. That's ABAC policy. I think it's a little harsh, but it's, again, not us. ABAC policy. If you opt to take an incomplete, it is your responsibility to sign up for a presentation time. I'm going to be honest, my August is slam-packed. It's hard to present in the fall. I would highly recommend you do anything you can to make those presentations. Anyone who cannot be there has to be approved by me. And I'm going to go ahead and say, if you are within 4 hours of this campus, you're going to be expected to be here. Any questions? Peer Professional Day. It is optional but highly encouraged. That will be the first week of September. We haven't nailed a complete date down yet, but roughly that first week of September, that's the big poster presentation thing that we do in Ag Tech every year. We'd love to have you participate in that. Oh, one other thing. Let me go back. In the handbook, which we'll talk about here in a second, there are details on what to present for your final presentation. Be sure to look at those so you're not presenting and we're sitting there and like, didn't talk about this, didn't talk about this, didn't talk about this. Be sure to review that rubric. I already talked about this. So incomplete policy. Your internship start date is the first day of class, May 12th, Monday. You have to get approval through me if you are not going to start on that day. If you're starting before that day, that's fine. Your stuff is still going to be in Georgia View as if you started May 12th. If you start after May 12th, that's where we start getting into that incomplete, because there are exactly 10 weeks in a summer semester for you to do your internship. Those dates that we posted, the 21st and 22nd, we have to present by then because grades are due that week. If we don't get the grades in, it's an incomplete. So like, we are crunched. We are not just picking these numbers out of the air. May 12th, if at all possible, please try to start May 12th. Oh yeah, all graded items have to be turned in on July 22nd so we can grade them on the 23rd and get them to the registrar. Any questions about an incomplete? If you receive federal financial aid, FAFSA, incompletes can affect your next semester's financial aid. Don't ask me or any of the graders how, because we don't know. We just know it can. You'll need to talk to the financial aid office, first floor, Carlton. They're the ones that can tell you whether or not it will and anything like that. Georgia View items. All assignments will be due in Georgia View. Every item you need for the course will be in the Contents tab. I already mentioned this, but I'll say it again. If you're missing grades, after about a week, reach out to me. We'll figure out what's going on. Do not email me through Georgia View. I don't know how it works. I see that there's a message, but I can't figure out how to read it. Email agintern@abac.edu. Announcements. I don't post announcements for fun. If there's an announcement, it's important. Be sure to read it. Who has heard of the Pulse app? Who has the Pulse app? All right, so y'all get a text whenever there's an announcement on Georgia View, so there's no reason not to read it, because I know y'all always on your phones anyway. That's just how we are. I said we, I'm including myself in that. If you don't have the Pulse app, I highly recommend you get it. It's very neat. You can see your Georgia View stuff, you get your grades back, texts and stuff. It's a very useful app. I used it when I was a student. Paperwork, the stapled copy that y'all got. Everybody flip to it. You must fill out your paperwork completely before bringing it to us to get approved. You will fill out what course you are in, your start date, which is preferably the 12th, your name and 918. You will give us a little bit of information about your site. Your employer will then take and sign pages, the second and the third page. So pages, I guess technically 4 and 6. The paperwork must be completely filled out in order to be approved. There is a covenant back there, covenant not to sue us if you get hurt. If anyone has any issues with this, have them email me. With that being said, all paperwork is due no later than noon, Friday, April 25th. There are 2 people on this campus that can approve your internship paperwork. Well, some of you. Most of y'all, it's just 1. I am the only person who will and can approve internship paperwork for all agriculture, agribusiness, and ag tech students. Horticulture students. I can approve it, and Dr. McCrimmon back there can approve it. He knows enough about not saying that the other graders don't know, they don't have the time, but Dr. McCrimmon has agreed to approve paperwork for the HORT students. Because let's be honest, y'all are always in his office anyway. Any questions on who can approve paperwork? With that being said, starting this week, I will move to a temporary office that is a whole lot easier to find than my current office. I will be in that office on Wednesdays and Thursdays to approve paperwork. Those are the only 2 days I will be approving paperwork. I can't just sit there and twiddle my thumbs in hopes that someone comes so I can approve paperwork. I will be in the main Ag Science office suite right next to Dr. ALM's office, the first office on the left. Does everybody know where that is? Okay. If you have trouble finding me, shoot me an email. We'll find each other. I promise. You won't be lost. Wednesdays and Thursdays. That'll cover my, Monday, Wednesday, Friday classes and my Tuesday, Thursday classes. Orientation quiz. Before we do that, there's a couple things I want to talk about before that was left off of the presentation. Everybody got a 1-pager. This 1-pager is key points based on everything we've covered tonight. Every answer to your orientation quiz will be found on this page. In the past, what we have done is we have sat right here, everybody takes their phone out and scans it, and then you can't get in the class unless you make 100. We're changing that this year because it's a pain to keep track of. We're going to go over the orientation quiz. We're going to talk about it. The first week of your internship, with that site directions and with the professional headshot. Your orientation quiz will be due. It'll be a true quiz on Georgia View. You must make a 100 on it. It is a pass-fail. If you don't make a 100 on it, you're going to get a 0 for it. You'll stay in the class, but you will get a 0 for it. And like I said, every answer, it's not like you got to look far, is on this, and we've already talked about it. Additionally, I've referenced a handbook throughout this evening. Y'all don't have that. In the past, we've printed it out. I've used, about a box and a half of paper to print it out. What we're doing this year is I will be emailing everybody a copy of their handbook. Whenever you signed in and you picked what class you were in, you will get a copy of that handbook. Any questions? The handbook will cover the entire class. It'll cover everything we've talked about. And it will go into even more detail on each assignment and each topic report that you write. When you write your topic reports, be sure to reference the handbook, because it will say, Week 1, company and organizational overview. We give you bullet points to talk about. You don't have to pull it out from your behind. We've tried to make this as straightforward as possible because there is a lot of information that we're wanting from y'all. Be sure to look over the handbook when you get it. I'll be emailing those out tomorrow, hopefully. All right, we're going to go over the orientation quiz. When are activity logs and topic reports due in Georgia View? $11:59 p.m. Monday night, Eastern Time. Late work is not accepted, true or false? True. We did not talk about this tonight, but you will see this in your handbook, and it is on this one pager. Week 2, topic report. You will set your activities and learning goals. It is extremely vital to tie each one of your topic reports back to the topic report 2 that you've already written with your learning goals. You have to reference your learning goals or you will not get full credit.
30-point deduction, you don't tie that.
Yes. That did not make it onto my deduction sheet. All right, submitting assignments to the wrong folder in Georgia View. It's a 0 for the assignment. Well, my answer is already posted on these. Templates provided in Georgia View must use the topic and activity reports. You must use them. You email Ag Intern with any questions. What file format must everything be submitted in? PDF. Turning in someone else's work or using AI? And Dean of Students. Because I need a paper trail for all communications, should you call me repeatedly or email me? Email me. Who are the 2 people on ABAC's campus that can approve your internship? myself, and Dr. James McCrimmon for the HORT students. Did you get it? When will I reply to ag intern emails? All right. We made it in record time this time, right at an hour. With that, is there anything from the graders that the graders would like to add? Y'all pay attention because they hit the stuff that I might have missed.
I want to reiterate the importance when it comes to the topic report and the weekly log. Okay? Topic report, make sure you go to the handbook and see what prompts, what points you're supposed to hit in each week's report. Part of that will be a summary, part of that will actually analyze. If you're not doing both, you're going to get stopped. Okay? So make sure you look at that. We cannot stress enough the importance of your learning goals. We're doing this for the heck of it. No. We aren't just grading fingers. Believe me, what we get, or I don't get paid, but they get paid for grading this summer.
It's chump change,
Not change.
if that.
But we believe in the value of our internship. We hear again and again the rigor of our internship sets us above all other institutions when it comes to the internship. So we are going to push you. I'm a hard grader. I'll go ahead and say it. I know I'm a hard grader. Okay? Go back and read the comments. They'll be posted in your review, because we need some comments for that. Okay? Dr. Carter, what year did you and I been doing this? 13? Well, this year 13 for me, you probably been doing it all 13. Okay? So, we kind of know the importance is when we give you feedback, go back and read it. Okay? Another great point, okay? There's 200 of y'all. I'll bring part of it this week, so you'll roll the dog, and the other dog, and the other dog, and the other dog, and the other dog. So in your summary for your weekly log,
Yes.
say, and I did such and such, which is how's my learning goals? I might not have read the report to know what those learning goals are, and even if I did, I don't probably remember yours specifically. So in that summary part, make sure you say, this week I mowed on,
Tiff Tough, 30 acres, and
at such and such height cut, which is one of my learning goals, to learn how to properly mow at the right height of cut. Okay? State this is my learning goal, and what it was. Okay? Or maybe one of your learning goals was to learn how to vaccinate cows. So you can say, this week I got to vaccinate 100 head with ivermectin at such and such rate. This aligns with my learning goal of learning how to properly vaccinate livestock. Okay? We want specific, because if you don't, we're gonna dock and say, you didn't tie it back. Remember, that's 30 points. I have to learn. Okay? 30 points, and that's before any other deduct. So, CC, you missed that. Let me mark it down that for you. Okay? Other comments?
all right.
Complete sentences, good grammar. Pretend you're the manager and you're giving someone else instructions. Don't just say, go get to the end. Tell me the steps of what it takes to fix that thing. Okay?
Does anyone have any overarching questions? The graders and I will still be around a little bit afterwards to answer specific questions But does anyone have any overarching class questions? Yeah, that's fine. So all your assignments and everything in Georgia View will stay as if you had started, because we can't start Georgia View early. We just can't do it. They won't let us. So everything will still be as if you started on the 12th, but you can start working early if you would like. With that being said, you made a really good point. It is extremely difficult. I got you, Dr. McCrimmon. It's extremely difficult to build Georgia View if you're starting on a different date. Because there are 200 of you, Georgia View gets funky. I've got to manually change every assignment's due date for each person that's not on the original start date. I will put an announcement out on week 1 that says, be sure that all of your start dates are correct. All of your assignment due dates are correct, because I have to literally do each assignment for each student. I'm human, I make mistakes. It's imperative that week 1 you check, because after week 1 it's no longer on me. You didn't check, sorry. If your assignment's not open on week 8 because the due date was wrong, you should have caught that in week 1. Dr. McCrimmon. Oh, good point. Yes. So if your company takes a day off, so we said no days off, but let's say you're taking July 4th or Memorial Day or something like that off. That's fine if it's a company observed thing. Just write on that day in your topic report, we did not work today as today was a company holiday. Yes, thank you, Dr. McCrimmon. And same thing if you're sick. If you miss a day because you're sick, email me and let me know, but also put that in your report. You had a question? Yes and no. So we realize that y'all will be working more than 40 hours a week. So if it's one day, it's not a big deal. Now, we do have a few companies that take the full week off. You will be expected to make that up. But if it's just the one 4th of July day, we realize y'all are, let's be honest, it's hard not to work 40 hours in agriculture. You just can't not do it. Anything else? All right, well, we thank y'all for coming, and we'll be around for any specific questions.